Welcome, welcome everybody. I hope everyone's been having a great week. I spent last week down at my mother's, and so I just actually got home, Tuesday. So I've only been home like a day and a half, but glad to be back. Everything should look a little different behind me because I'm in my studio at home instead of at my mother's, which is where I broadcast last week. But I just want to welcome everybody. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so glad that you're here. Now, if you want to know every time I'm online or every time I'm doing a live, if you will just subscribe and hit the little bell button for YouTube, and for Facebook, subscribe or follow me on Facebook. So I'm going to get some what I call housekeeping out of the way, and then we will get started. First thing is, if you guys are new to being on YouTube or Facebook and you have any questions, you're more than welcome to type them in the comments. Right now it shows I should be able to see both Facebook and YouTube comments tonight, so hopefully I am streaming in both places. But if you guys are typing in comments and you're not seeing me answer you, it's probably because I'm not seeing them on my end, because usually they pop right up, and I do look up once in a while to see them. So let's get the housekeeping taken care of, and then we'll get started. So for those of you that need to contact me, you can place your any orders through juliebrown.stampinup.net. You can email me at juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. My Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram is Julie's Creative Stamping. Now, YouTube's a little bit different. It's juliebrown.juliescreativestamping. And then please make sure you check out my blog. I've been working on it for, this has been like a 4-year project, but I am slowly but surely getting everything built up so that it's got some really good content in there for you guys. So make sure you go and you check that out. Now, as you guys know, these classes on Wednesday night are free, but I always have people ask me, well, what if we want you to cut the card kits? What if we want the card kits? What if we want the set? What if we want this? So here is your answer for those of you that asked that question. These are free, and I want you guys to follow along with whatever products you have at home. But if you fall in love with these cards and you want the card kits along with the PDFs, there's 2 ways to get that. And so the first way is, if you place a $40 order, you will get all of the card kits and the PDFs that you're going to see me do this month on this channel. Now, if you order the suite from me, both of these have to be ordered through me, but if you order the suite through me, or any suite through me, this month, in the month of July, then you will get 8 of the card kits along with 8 PDFs. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this suite, but if you want to do these cards, you'll want to get this suite. And so here's the number for the suite. So you can jot that down if it's something you think you might be interested in. If you're not really interested in the suite, but you do like the bundle, which is the stamp set and the dies, there's the number for that. But remember, guys, this is free classes. So I'm just here to try to help you guys use up what you already have, but just in case you fall in love with that, you can get it. Now, there is one more way to get all of the PDFs for free, and that is to join my team. So if you join my team, all of my team members get every PDF of every card that I design for my online and my in-person card classes. So that is something that is a perk that you get for being part of my team. All right. And again, make sure that you let me know you're here so that I can make sure I'm paying attention. And so let me put this up really quick. So if you didn't already see it in my Facebook page, sorry, these are the card cuts for tonight. Sorry, I got something in my throat. So you can take a quick screenshot of that. And if you're not ready and you don't have this stuff already cut out, you can watch this and then you can go back and replay it. But then you've got those card kits and you can be ready. Now, please understand, all of the colors that I use are based off coordinating with the designer series paper that I'm using. So if you guys are going to be using a different designer series paper and a different stamp set altogether, then make sure you're using a card base and cardstock that coordinates with the paper that you are using. All right, I think we're ready. All right, so let's get started. So I already showed you the card cuts. Sorry, golly, I can't talk tonight. I'm gonna go over it one more time. You're gonna need a card base. I use Mossy Meadow because of what I'm using tonight. Pick the color that fits you. You are gonna need 2 4x5 1/4 basic white pieces. You are going to need 1 basic white piece that is 3 1/2 by 6. You're going to need 1 basic white piece that is 1 by 4 1/2. And then I chose this as the designer series paper from this Painterly Pears suite, and that's what I'm going to be using tonight. All right, so we are going to do the stamping first. So to do the stamping, you are going to need, you're going to need 1 of the 4x5 1/4, the 3 1/2 by 6, and this little strip here. So let's get started with the stamping. So these are 2-step stamps. And so on this big piece, we are going to stamp 2 of the large pears, or I'm sorry, 3 of the large pears and 3 leaves. So I am going to start with crushed curry for this detailed piece. And we're going to stamp this 3 times. Now, I am going to be die cutting these out because I do have the dies to go along with it. So keeping that in mind, I am going to strategically place my pears on here so that I am able to have enough of an edge around them that I can cut them out with the dies without running into anything else. Okay, so there's those. I'm going to clean this in a second. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp on this one because it's the same color and I have it out. So on this one, we're going to stamp 2 of the sets of flower. There's these little flowers. There's 3. And so I'm going to stamp 2 of these. Alrighty, then I'm going to come back up here with my Old Olive. I think it's Old Olive. I might have used Mossy Meadow. I don't know. I think it's Mossy Meadow. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow first, and we are going to do 3 of these detailed leaves. So 1, 2. And again, you can see I'm trying to make sure I leave enough space so that I'll be able to die cut these out. All right. Then for the inside of the card. Oh my gosh, that was this. That was the inside of the card. I just did that wrong. Let me see if I can turn it over. I can. Sorry. Restamp really quick. Now you guys get to see what happens when I'm not paying attention. Oh my heck. I kept looking at that going, what was I going to stamp on that? Oh yeah. All of these. Oh, I can be such a goober sometimes. That's all right. We're going to recover quickly. I apologize for that. You can't laugh at yourself, right? It's like, oh my goodness. Okay, so that's going to be stamped on that. And I apologize if you guys were following me and you did it on the wrong one. Just do exactly what I did. Then we're going to take this. We're going to act like we didn't stamp on this side. And we're going to bring in those little flowers. And we are going to, let's see, stamp these in the bottom down here. Then we're going to come in with the sentiment that says, a good friend is a gift. And we are going to stamp that right at the top up here. just like so. And then lots of stamping. And then on the front, this is going to be our front piece. Down here in the very bottom, we're going to stamp the thank you. And I want it to be like about 1/2 inch from the bottom edge and 1/4 inch from the left. So it's going to look just like that. All right, so let me just move these really quick while I bring in my stamp cleaner so that I can clean all these. Now remember, I've told you, and I sometimes don't do this when I'm videotaping because it can take too long, but it is best if you try to get as much of the ink off before you clean it. Not that it won't clean it, it's just that it won't mess up your chamois as much. Oh, we've got some more stamping to do. All right, so there's that. So now we're going to bring in our pears, and we're going to bring in the Darling Duckling. Oh, that was Darling Duckling. Did I just use the wrong one? I did. Oh my heck, I am so messed up tonight. That's okay. That should have been Crushed Curry. It's Darling Duckling. We're good. This will still work. So now I'm just going to come in here, and because I don't really want this quite as dark, I'm going to stamp off a little bit. And then I'm just going to lay that down inside that image. Okay, so same thing. We're going to stamp that off just a little bit. And then come in and lay that down like so. Do that one more time, but we got to turn this guy around. Gonna stamp this off over here. All right, so now I have my 3 pears. So what I decided to do for the small flowers and for the leaves, instead of doing the stamping, I decided to bring in our watercolor pencils and our blender pens and give this a softer look than stamping in it. So we have 2 sets of watercolor. This one is assortment 2. This one is assortment 1, or I think this one just says watercolor pencils. This one has Daffodil Delight and Old Olive in it. So this is the one that we're going to be using. So I'm just going to pull those 2 colors out. So this should be Daffodil Delight. And hopefully I can, and there's Old Olive. All right. So the cool thing about these is that you don't have to color it completely. And what I mean is that you can just kind of go in and do a really light, like circular motion. You don't have to be a perfect colorer here. And so I'm just going to kind of go in and fill in these leaves. Now I do want this to be a little bit darker, so this one I am going to push down a little bit harder, but the rest of them I'm not. So basically, again, all I'm doing is I'm just coming in here and I'm just kind of scribbling. Like I said, I'm not being like super careful with my coloring technique. And then the stem, I am putting the color in a little bit darker. Hopefully you guys can see that. I hope this is streaming, because usually I have people on here with me, but I'm not seeing anybody on tonight. So it's either streaming and I'm not seeing the comments, or it's not streaming. So I'm going to go ahead and color that. And I am going to do one quick check, if you guys will bear with me. I just want to make sure that we are streaming and then everything that did connect, because I have been having some issues, especially with Facebook, wanting to talk to I use a Switcher Studio, and it hasn't been wanting to talk to my Switcher Studio lately. So I just want to see if it is actually all connected and we're doing okay. I apologize for the pause, but hopefully that'll help you guys, give you a chance to catch up. Now, what are you going to do if you do not have the watercolor? So it does look like I'm streaming, so we are good. Okay. What if you don't have the watercolors? Well, then you can either use your blends, or this one has another stamp. I mean, it's got the solid stamp, and you could stamp that solid color in there. All right. So that's your solution if you don't have the blender pens. I'm just trying to teach you guys, you know, about all the tools that Stampin' Up! Has to offer. So I'm just going to be showing you those. So what we're going to do is we're just going to open one of these ends. And now this time I am going to be careful that I am pulling the color in the same direction. So now I'm going to I started at the top and pulled it down. Even with this one, I'm going to start at the top and pull it down. This is what gives you that smooth finish. So I'm just going to take that, and like I said, I just start at the top, and I'm going to bring this closer so that you guys can see the difference between the one, this is the one I used the blender pen on, and this is the one that I just colored. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same thing here. And again, if you want it to have a smooth finish, you want to start and do this in the same direction. So I start at the top and I'm just kind of like pulling that down. And that helps to smooth out that color. And you'll notice too, it darkened the color. So again, we're going to do this one more time over here. Here we go. And again, just pull this down. So, you know, if you guys end up watching this later because you missed me being on live, again, like I said, if you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can click on that little bell and it will notify you anytime I'm going live. Now, to clean this, all you do is you just kind of keep wiping it until you don't see any color anymore. Now, we're going to do the same thing with these little flowers. And again, I'm coming in with Daffodil Delight because that's the color of pencil. Now, if you didn't have this and you wanted to color this in, you could use blends, or you could use our markers. So again, you've got a couple of choices that you can use here. And again, you'll see I'm just kind of going kind of fast with my coloring. And then, like I said, if you guys have any questions, you can type them in. I would be more than happy to answer questions that you guys might have if you're not understanding something that I'm doing, or if you just have a question. Again, I am using products from the Painterly Pears suite. But you guys can use whatever you have on hand. Because like I said, I do these free classes, one, to show you our new product, but two, to try to encourage you guys to pull out your stamp supplies and craft along with me. I've gotten to where I'm only doing one card each Wednesday night because I want to be able to do it from start to finish, just to give you guys an idea of, you know, one, how to use your tools, and two, how to put this card together. So let's say you didn't have pears, but you had a stamp set that had apples. It would work just as good. And then you would just pick the designer series paper that you have on hand that you like. Well, let's say that you don't have any fruit, but you've got flowers. So where I'm going to put the pears, you would do the same thing with your flowers. Or you have an animal. I mean, you guys can substitute in anything that you happen to have on hand that will work. Now, I forgot one of my little stamps. It's the center of my flowers. Need to grab this out. And this, I am telling you, like, these flowers I was kind of like not super excited about until I put these centers in. The center of these flowers makes all the difference with the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up in Mossy Meadow, and then it's going to take me a hot second to figure out which way this goes. I think it's that way. Okay, so I'm going to set one end down. I may have done that wrong. Yep, I did it wrong. Oh, which side does, oh, I bet it's this way. Yep, it's that way. I'm gonna color me up another one of those really quick. Let me see if I can get it to fit right here. And again, guys, this is what happens when, you know, when you're crafting. Sometimes you're, you know, like especially with me, I'm trying to go not too fast, but I am trying to make sure you guys aren't here all night long with me. And because of that, I was trying to rush a little bit, and I ended up stamping that incorrectly. So what do? We just re-stamp it, recolor it, and we're good to go. I don't stress too much about when I make mistakes in my stamping. One, because, you know, stamping is kind of my zen place for me, so I tried not to make it super stressful. I want to enjoy it, so I mean, I don't like it when I do it on camera, but you know, but I also think it's good for you guys to see that those of us that are demonstrators, you know, we mess up too. Okay, so I am getting an error about retrieving messages from my Facebook comments. So if you guys are watching me on Facebook, I am not seeing the comments. I do apologize. I probably will be able to see them later, but I am not seeing them now. And I'm guessing the same thing might be happening with YouTube. One of these days, I mean, you know, my switcher used to work so good. And then it, for some reason, but you know, I also know that a lot of these companies have really switched things up. And sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I do this right this time. They have switched up like what is acceptable, what they like to see, what they don't like to see, and sometimes the other companies like Switcher Studio that I work with isn't caught up with all of the information that they need to be feeding to Facebook or to YouTube so that they're happy with them. All right. So there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these three. Now this one got messed up, but we're going to go cut all of these out. So let's switch over to my die cut station and bring the dies over. And we're going to do some die cutting. All right. Going to see if I can fit it all on here so I can be doing multiples at the time. So you guys aren't going to get completely bored watching me die cut 5 million times. Okay, 5 millions is exaggerating just a bit. Sometimes it feels that way though, right? Sometimes when we do those really intricate cards that has a lot of little die pieces, it does feel like we have been die cutting for ages. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick this leaf. I'm just going to tear this washi in half so that I can get this to stay in place. And then we're going to cut out the pears. So let's say you guys have a die set or a stamp set that doesn't have the dies, then you're going to be fussy cutting these out. But that's why I show you the sets that I'm using ahead of time, so that even though you may not have the set, you would be able to you know, find something that's comparable. And if you can see that I'm going to be like die cutting out, then you'll pick a set that you have that has matching dies with it. So I do try to give you guys a heads up of what I'm going to be using so that it makes it easier for you when we're doing this live together. And then I think this is the other one that's not messed up. So let me put this one here. Then we're going to just move this one. And again, as you guys know, those of you that have watched my channel before, usually I have a lot of this stuff pre-done so that you do not have to sit and watch. But because I'm doing this live with hopefully some of you, I am trying to make sure that I'm doing all the same cuts that I'm asking you to do so that you don't feel like you're behind. We're going to be doing this together. And I realize that some of you watch the replay, and that's great, but you know, there are a couple of you that I know do follow along with me, and so I'm trying to be courteous and make sure that you don't get stressed out because card making is supposed to be like super fun. But I know sometimes, you know, when you're in a class that you feel like you always have to keep up. So I am just trying to go at a speed that hopefully is working for you guys. And I have asked you, so I mean, if this is your first time watching me and you are trying to do it along with me, please make sure that you pop in there if I am going too fast for you guys, because it's really hard for me to gauge what speed I should be going at. Because I, you know, stamp and die cut and everything at a certain speed. And some of you are faster than me and some of you are slower than me. So just, again, when the comments are working, for those of you that are on Facebook, if you're trying to tell me to slow down, I'm so sorry. But I am trying to keep this at a fairly good pace. And then always make sure that you put all your dies back in wherever it is that you're keeping them so that you don't lose any of them. So now let's switch back to our station over here. And we are ready to put this card together. So the first thing that we're going to do is glue the leaves onto the tops of the pears. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of glue. I did not test my glue before I started, so I'm not sure which one's going to work tonight and which one isn't. Again, I've been down in Albuquerque at my mom's, so I had all that stuff ready to go, and I forgot to prep my stuff here tonight. That's what happens when you're moving back and forth all the time. You're like, did I get stuff ready? Did I not get stuff ready? So this is kind of clogging up a little bit, it looks like. I've been having some issues with these clogging up. I never used to, but for some reason. So I'm going to try my third one and see how we go. Hey, Brenda, how are you? And I think you're coming through on Facebook, or are you on YouTube? Not sure. Okay, that one's going to work for me. So this one is just going to fit right there. And I'm going to set it over there. So I'm going to do that 2 more times. And again, ladies or gentlemen, make sure that you are, if I am going too fast, let me know, because these classes are designed so that you can craft along with me. And I know I keep saying this, but I just want to make it really clear to you guys. You don't have to have the set that I'm using. This is kind of called using sketches. So you're going to do the same layout as me, but you're just going to use the stuff that you have at home. Okay, so we got all those connected. So now we're going to start putting this card together. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take that designer series piece of paper And we're going to glue it to the top part of this 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White piece. So you are on Facebook. So I am getting the Facebook comments. It said I wasn't going to get them. So you're making card kits for your class as you watch me. Yeah, I was on a training earlier and I was making the card kits for my class tomorrow while I was listening to that training. Isn't it? We all learn how to multitask, right? Shanine, I should have put the alarm on. Okay. No worries, guys, because if you were planning on doing this along with me because you have this set, remember at the end of this, you can go back and you can replay it and sometimes that's easier because then you can pause me if I'm going too fast and make me slow down. So this is the really pretty ribbon that comes in this suite. It's absolutely beautiful. And so we're just going to, and then you can decide which side you want up, the lighter side or the darker. I think I'm going to go with the darker on this one. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus and I'm going to run 2 little lines. And you'll notice I don't always I cut my ribbon for classes, but when I'm working on my own stuff, I do not necessarily cut my ribbon off the spool. I do it as I go because then I have less waste. Because what if I, try to guess and I cut too much? Then I'm sitting here with extra stuff, which you guys know I'm doing junk journaling now, so it's not a huge issue. Used to be, I used to have all these little stray pieces of ribbon, but that's not a big issue now. So now we're going to bring in our card base. And we're going to burnish that with a bone folder. And then I'm going to add some more adhesive onto this. Now I'm trying to keep these cards fairly simple too, because I know some of you are, fairly new at working with your products, and I want to make sure that you, I'm going to flip that over. Well, hold on. I didn't get that quite straight. That bugs me. I forgot I was going to say, sorry, I got sidetracked. Squirrel. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry. A little bit of it was sticking over and it was bugging me, so I had to fix it. I just had to. Sometimes it doesn't bother me and sometimes it does. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the day. All right. So here's that. And then I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm going to bring in my bow maker. And so we're going to make a little bow. And again, another reason to make a purchase from me is the first time you purchase from me, you will get one of these bow makers, which makes my life 10 times better. Oh, you're using the same suite for your class. Yay, Brenda. It's a really pretty suite, isn't it? All right, so basically to use this, you have your big end here, and then you have your two little legs here. If you're doing a small bow, we're working on these 2 little legs. So we're going to make this go across the top. We're going to come through this section right here. Then we're going to go into the middle of the legs at the top. We're going to slip that through. We're going to bring it around the bottom. And then we're going to turn it this way, grab this other little leg, and then we're going to tie our knot. All right, so there we go. So Brenda, just so you know, I'm doing this suite all month long, and so I did do another card. I'm going to show you the card I did last week. So if you missed my last week's, you might want to go back and look at it, especially since you're going to be introducing this to your ladies and they might want to see everything that's possible with this suite. So you'll be able to show them at least a picture of that card. All right, so I'm going to grab myself some mini glue dots, and I always put 2 down. I feel like I repeat the same thing all the time. I know you guys know this, but I just, you know, I just want to tell you again, just because I might have someone new watching, right, that hasn't watched me before and doesn't know how I do things. So I'm just going to kind of spread that apart. Obviously, I don't want it to cover the thank you. So now I'm going to come in with my paper snips and snip that down so that it's just right above the thank you. And then, oh, I also, sorry, I forgot to do this. So let's do this really quick. I forgot to color the flowers in here. So again, I'm using the watercolor pencils for this part. I did stamp this, but I did use the watercolor pencils on the inside of that leaf too. Again, if you guys aren't used to our watercolor pencils with the blender pens, this is a good thing to do. And so now we're just going to be swiping down. Yeah, so Brenda, I am going to be, every Wednesday, I will be doing a new card with this suite. So you can let your ladies know that if they want to get that suite from you, then they can watch me on Wednesday nights and find other cards to do with this suite. I started focusing on just one because I feel like, you know what, you guys go out, and if you do buy this suite, you get so much product, and I don't want to see you guys, I don't want to see you guys going home and not using it. I don't want to see it sitting on, you know, the shelves where we can sit and say, oh, pretty, you know, pretty flowers. Okay, sorry, I need to focus. Give me a hot second. Pretty flowers. You know, sit and admire our paper and then never take it down and do anything with it. So that's why I decided that, you know, I started last month, and I'm going to do a suite a month. That way it's going to give you plenty of different ideas to do with the suite. So by the time you're done, like if you're going to Brenda's class and you're done doing Brenda's class, and if, don't look at the back of this, this is where I messed up. And those that are coming to my class tomorrow are going to be making 2 more cards with this suite, besides the 4 that I'm doing this month, and besides the 8 that if you buy the suite from me, you're going to get 8 PDFs, the 4 that I'm showing you and the other 4. So you'll end up with 10 cards that you can make out of this suite. Okay, so that was the inside that I had stamped earlier. So now we're going to put this together. And so I'm going to go ahead and take these, and we're going to attach these down here next to the thank you. Don't you think those flowers, it really makes the difference when you, oh, I got to put my hand behind, sorry. It really makes the difference in how cute those flowers look when you stamp that inside. I just, like I said, when I was first working with them, I'm like, you know, those aren't very cute. And then I stamped that inside, and I was like, okay, now they're stinking cute. They're super, super cute. So that's going to go there. And for those of you that are avid stampers, understand I am keeping these more casual. But you can, you know, swoosh it up any way that you want to. You can make it really fun and add all sorts of other elements and leaves behind pears. I mean, you could, you know, you guys that are avid, you know how to make this, how to add things to this and make it, you know, pop even more. But I figured if I could at least show you the casual version, then you guys could allow your creativity to run amok and do the, make it avid for you. So this last one I'm going to actually pop up. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm basically just putting like 1 on each of the leaves and then 3 on the pear. And that should be sufficient to pop it up and hold it. Now, I did not use the gems on this one, but don't forget this suite comes with some beautiful gems. That would be another way that you guys could swoosh it up and make it super fancy. All right, guys, that's it. That's the card. All right, so we just stamped, we die cut, we did some watercoloring with the blends, and it says thank you, and then on the inside it says a good friend is a gift. And I'm sure all of us have that special friend that we could send this card to. Now remember last week, if I can find the card, I just had it sitting there. Last week I showed you this one. So this was the card we did last week. And then this is this week. And then we've got more cards coming for the month of July. And so each Wednesday I will be adding one too. And again, I'm going to put this up here because this is a free class. I love you guys. I love to have you guys join in with me. If you've already bought this suite, follow along, make my cards. But if you guys want the card kits, you want me to do all the cutting and get everything cut out. I can't stamp for you, but if you want everything cut out and you want 4 of the card kits, which are the 4 that I'm showing, place a $40 order with me this month and you will get the card kits for July, which go along with this suite. If you want all 8 of the card kits, then you purchase and you don't even have to purchase this suite. If you already own this suite, but you want the card kits, you can purchase a separate suite. Now, for those of you that are part of my team, you don't have to purchase anything. You're purchasing things through yourself. You guys are going to get all of the PDFs for free. So anyone who's part of my team, that you will get the downloadable PDFs so that you can go and you can make all of these cards. If that's what you want to do and you want to be part of my team so that you can get all of those PDFs for free, just go to my site and hit join and join my team. All right. So there we go, guys. I'm going to put up the card cuts one more time just so that if you guys came in a little bit late, you can take a picture of it. But I know 2 of you on here are part of my team, and I will be uploading both of these directions probably later this week. So you will find those later this week on our team site. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that card, and I hope you liked the first card that I did. Oh, you know what? I was going to do a sneak peek of next week. Hold that thought. Let me have you look at those while I go grab that card. Oh. I have to look at my directions to see which one I'm doing next week because I have them all set up. So I want to make sure I'm using the right one. Yeah. Okay. Are you guys ready for the card that we will be doing next week? Ta-da! So I will be showing you how to put this card together next week. Yay! All right. So anyway, guys, thank you for being with me tonight. I always love it when I have people here. It just makes it a lot more fun. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing 2 more of these cards tomorrow in my card class. And those of you that are part of my team, you will get those PDFs as well. So if you're a part of my team, you're going to get 10 PDFs to go along with this suite to make cards with this suite. So yeah, like lift the roof, right? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being with me. I'll see some of you at class tomorrow. And the rest of you, I will see next week. Also, remember that for 2 of the Wednesdays this month, because I'm going to be taking a vacation, can you believe it? I'm taking a 2-week vacation, no stamping. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be hanging with my grandkids, so I'm probably going to have plenty to do. But so 2 of the weeks, it will be recorded, but it'll still go up at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, or 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Yeah, get up early, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on Wednesday. So you guys can either check me out on YouTube or check me out here on Facebook, and you will be able to see those videos as well. And I will have the card cuts up early as well. And then on the video, I will show the card cuts as well. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great evening. It's good to be home. I just spent a week at my mom's, and it was like, oh. And so one of these, keep watching my site. I'm going to show you all the stuff I packed to go down there and to come back. It was a lot. Anyway, guys, have a good night. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will see some of you soon.